The girl woke up in a luxurious mansion with no memory of how she ended up there. Just the day before, she had been at a bar celebrating a successful confession to her college crush, Jiang Huaishu. When a maid addressed her as Madam, she realized this was not a kidnapping.
先生一早就去公司了。
好的，你先去忙吧。
It was her life. In shock, she discovered that she was not only married, but had somehow traveled through time. She grabbed her phone and was horrified to see the year was 2024, 6 years after her last memory. She had inexplicably jumped into the future. As she scrolled through her messages, she found that she was married to a stranger named Yuan, who had sent her cold and insulting texts. Desperate for answers, she realized the only person who might be able to explain anything was her best friend, A. Lee. But when she called, the voice coming through sounded distant and icy. They arranged to meet, and when she arrived at the cafe, her friend looked at her with thinly veiled disgust. She tried to explain that she was from the past, that she had traveled forward in time from when she was 18.
你还记得吗？我跟江淮旭表白了。
Her friend dismissed her immediately and told her to see a psychiatrist. But the girl persisted and begged to know what had happened to her and Jiang Huaishu. That was when her friend delivered a devastating revelation. She said the girl had indeed married her college crush, and they even had a child together. But for reasons unknown, the girl later became obsessed with another man and abandoned her perfect family to pursue him. Her friend coldly concluded that the girl must have had a mental breakdown. The girl was left shattered, unable to understand what had happened during the 6 years she could not remember. As her husband walked away carrying their daughter, the girl collapsed in despair. She could not understand how her once perfect love story had turned into such a nightmare. Determined to win back her family, she decided to start by repairing her relationship with her daughter. The next morning, she greeted her husband and child with warmth, but both ignored her completely. She tried offering her daughter an egg, but the little girl recoiled in fear and burst into tears. Her husband immediately picked the child up and accused her of trying something new. Left alone, she watched their backs as they left, the emotional distance between them feeling insurmountable. Later that day, she saw her daughter trip and fall. When she rushed forward to help, the girl scrambled away in terror. Still, the mother followed her gently to her room with a first aid kit. She picked up the child's dropped teddy bear and offered it back.
我给你生点药好不好？
To her surprise, the child hesitated and eventually accepted it. Seeing a small opening, the mother carefully treated the scrape on her daughter's knee. For the first time, her daughter did not pull away. The moment gave her a fragile hope that she could repair the damage she did not remember causing. The girl continued tending to her daughter's small injury, and for a brief moment, the child's expression softened. Encouraged, she asked whether she could play together with the little girl. Just as the child hesitated, the husband stormed in and pulled the daughter away. He warned the mother to keep her distance from their child. He then took the child to preschool, even though it was the weekend, coldly saying it was better than leaving the girl with her. Confused and desperate, the mother called her friend, who revealed that whenever the husband was busy, he dropped their child off at her parents' home. Seeing an opportunity, the mother rushed there immediately. Her own mother greeted her with a warm embrace, but her father looked furious and reminded her he had disowned her a year earlier for chasing another man.
这次又要闹哪出啊？1年多都没回来了，你要再跟着那个秦元跑，就别认我们。
The girl insisted she had given up on that path and wanted to fix her marriage and rebuild her relationship with her daughter. Hearing her sincerity, her parents reluctantly let her inside. She found her daughter playing and quietly sat next to her, offering to help build a toy cake. Slowly, the child began to respond to her. A delicate connection started to form. But just as hope flickered in the girl's heart, her husband appeared in the doorway, anger burning in his eyes, and once again pulled their daughter away from her. The woman jolted awake from a terrifying nightmare. In the dream, she saw herself pushing her own daughter off a high balcony. She woke up drenched in cold sweat and realized with horror that the scene was not a dream, but a memory from when she was 24. She turned immediately to her daughter, Juju, and reassured the frightened child that it had only been a bad dream.
猪猪，别怕，妈妈带你下楼，好不好？
Later that night, her husband found her crying and demanded to know what she was planning again. He warned her that if she dared to harm their daughter once more, he would make her pay. The woman insisted that she would never hurt the child again, but he remained deeply suspicious of her sudden change. Despite his distrust, he secretly observed her. He stood at the doorway and watched as she gently read a bedtime story to their daughter, a look of pure tenderness softening her face in a way he had not seen in years. The scene confused him. He returned to his office and immediately called someone to investigate all of her recent activities. The next morning, he announced that he planned to take their daughter to visit his family. The woman pleaded to accompany them, and to her surprise, he agreed. When they arrived at his family home, his father treated them coldly. During dinner, the grandfather erupted in anger when he saw the child playing with a toy at the table.
小门小户出来的孩子都是这个做派。
小孩子，你跟他计较那么多干嘛呀？
He slammed his hand down and shouted that a child from such a poor family lacked manners. He glared at the woman and declared that all of it was her fault. The grandfather continued berating them, calling his own son a useless disgrace for marrying a woman like her. The woman could no longer remain silent.
就是他有你这样一个爹，人不行别怪路不平，好吧？
She stood up and declared that her husband was a wonderful person, and the only unfortunate thing about him was having a father like the one standing before them. The argument escalated rapidly. Finally, the husband slammed his chopsticks onto the table and announced that they were leaving. His father tried to stop him, but he calmly said he would return only when the old man learned to respect his wife and child. Outside, he took his wife's hand and walked away with her. She apologized for speaking out of turn, but he told her she had no reason to apologize.
我今天在你家骂你爸。
你不用道歉，那也不是我家。
He mentioned that he had a banquet to attend and asked whether she wanted to accompany him. She eagerly agreed. At the party, he met with a friend who had been investigating her recent behavior. The friend reported that she seemed to still be fixated on a man named Qin Yuan. The husband then asked an unusual question, whether a person could have two souls within one body. He explained that his wife's personality had drastically changed years earlier, and now it seemed she had changed back again. It felt to him as though the woman he had fallen in love with had finally returned. At the banquet, a woman in a silver dress reminded her of Qin Yuan, the man she had supposedly abandoned her husband for years ago. But the woman stared at him blankly, showing no recognition at all. Qin Yuan approached her, shocked by her coldness. He reminded her of how she had pursued him relentlessly for a year. She responded calmly, saying she must have been out of her mind back then. Just as he reached out to grab her arm, her husband intervened and pulled her away. As they were leaving, another woman stepped forward and accused her of failing to appreciate her own husband. She demanded an apology for some past slight. After the woman apologized, the accuser insisted she drink a glass of wine that had been secretly drugged. Realizing the trap instantly, the woman froze. Before she could react, her husband took the glass from her hand. He demanded that the accuser bring him the antidote. Then he drank the entire glass himself, without hesitation. After a young boy snatched a toy from a little girl, the wealthy mother mocked the child cruelly for being mute. The girl's mother could no longer endure it and slapped the rich woman hard across the face. It turned out the little girl, who was still recovering from a broken arm, had been bullied by the boy. When she refused to surrender her teddy bear, he seized it forcefully, causing her to fall. The boy then bragged to his mother that he had won and insulted the girl by calling her mute. Instead of disciplining her son, the wealthy woman simply laughed and suggested the mother should have given birth to a normal child. Enraged, the girl's mother slapped her again. The rich woman immediately commanded her bodyguards to seize her. She raised her hand to strike back, but a man suddenly appeared and grabbed her wrist. It was the mother's husband. His presence shocked the mother, especially because he had rejected her request that very morning to take their daughter to school together. The night before, he had also been distant and cold, creating a heavy tension between them. Now, he stood between the two women with an unreadable expression. He asked coldly whether she had intended to hit his wife. The rich woman immediately tried to apologize and claimed it had only been a trivial fight between children. But the husband's assistant stepped forward and warned her to watch her behavior. The husband then picked up his crying daughter and left with his wife, completely ignoring the wealthy woman. The moment they stepped outside, the rich woman's phone rang. Her own husband screamed at her, blaming her for causing him to lose a multi-million-dollar contract. He ordered her to apologize immediately or face losing her privileged life. Later that night, after checking on their sleeping daughter, the husband noticed that his wife was in pain. When he asked what had happened, she explained that she had been bumped during the altercation. He immediately pulled her onto the couch, lifted her shirt slightly, and revealed a large red bruise along her side. As he gently applied medicine, she quietly asked whether he still liked her. He did not answer with words, and instead leaned in to kiss her. Flustered, she jumped up and ran to their daughter's room. There, she found the child holding the teddy bear that had been torn during the fight. Though clumsy with a needle, she began stitching the toy back together. Her husband joined her and sat beside her, watching quietly as she repaired it. Their daughter hugged the restored toy tightly. The woman still did not understand why the teddy bear meant so much, so the husband explained softly that it was the first gift she had ever given to their daughter. The woman accidentally scalded her husband with a bowl of boiling soup. The incident happened during a family lunch at her parents' home, a gathering meant to mark a turning point in their cold marriage. Earlier that morning, the husband had unexpectedly invited her to take their daughter for a hospital appointment to check her healing arm. The doctor confirmed the child was recovering well, and feeling hopeful, the woman invited him to her parents' house for lunch. He agreed. But now, after the accident, her mother scolded her for being careless and sent the man upstairs to change. The woman followed him with ointment. When she entered the room, he was already shirtless, and she was so flustered that she nearly dropped the medicine. She insisted that she should apply it herself because she was the one who had caused the injury. As she gently treated the burn on his chest, he jokingly asked whether she was praying over it. Just when the atmosphere softened between them, he buttoned his shirt and said he needed to return to the office. After he left, her mother sat her down and reminded her that he had always been good to her and that she needed to stop being so stubborn. The conversation revealed the deep cracks in their marriage. At that moment, her friend Ali called in a panic, begging her to come to a photo studio immediately. She brought her daughter and arrived to find chaos. The lead actress for an important shoot was throwing a tantrum after unflattering photos of her had leaked online, and she was refusing to continue working. Ali begged the woman to take over as the photographer, but the actress sneered at her and called her an unprofessional nobody. Ali finally snapped and revealed that the woman was actually a famous photographer who had been personally invited to exhibit her work by the legendary Mr. Ryan. The actress was stunned into silence, but the woman was even more shocked. She had no memory of any of this. When she pulled out her phone and opened her portfolio, a sharp, splitting pain shot through her head. She confessed to her friend that she had been suffering from mysterious, crippling headaches for days and was starting to realize she could not remember her own life.